tell me. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Whoop, whoop. Coming from the yard. Coming from the garden, Luton. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Here from the... It's still hot. It's still very, very, very hot. UK. Hope you are all well. I am, if you haven't seen a bit of my promos, I am excited is not the word. And the producer, when she comes back on, will tell you I am jumping up and down like a bumblebee. We have Stephen Akinsanya in the house. Steve will be joining us about 8 o'clock, and I don't know who he is. I got that from Dan Gaze. I don't business. Dan Gaze, you don't know who Stephen Akinsanya is. I don't know, he said. I don't know. You will know. How you don't know, I really can't work that one out. Wherever you are in the world, please drop a little note in the chat. Let us know where you are watching from. Please share. That is so, so important. Please share. It's not for the likes, because I'm telling you now, I'm telling you, somebody is going to be so grateful that you did so. So for all the young people, them out there, it's summer holidays coming up. And before we even get to the summer holidays, I'm sure I read on social media, yes, I can't even remember which school it was actually, and something had taken place with one of their young pupils. We keep having the same conversations. So if we're having the same conversations and we have the same results, then something is not right. That means things are not working. Before I get in too deep, which I know I will do, and I do not apologize for any of that whatsoever. I'm in my yard, and behind me, because I can do all of this because I can, these are these are my spring onions that I need to get in the pot. I need to get in the ground. I need to get in the ground ASAP. Guess what? Guess what else I've been up to? Yeah, I'm showing off. I don't business. Where is it? 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 Yep, this can happen in the UK too. Do you see that? That's my sweet potato, and that's my little slips. God, I'm so excited. So when we say it's the little things, guys, it really is the little things that we need to show gratitude for. It's not always the big things. You're thinking like, oh, you're looking for this, you're looking for that. No, 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 no. The little things. We are joined by the wonderful Jasper. He should be joining us very shortly. We are, when I say we, I'm talking about Simply Deez events. You've probably seen our name on lots of things. That's because we're busy. We're doing our own events, and we are also supporting the community. Collaboration is key, fundamental. The producer will let me know as soon as Jasper comes on. But on the 25th of July, it was a Saturday, but it's now on the Wednesday, and the kids are going to be on holiday. And actually, it's not just about the kids, because I've booked the day off. The 25th of July, Wednesday, 25th of July, Jasper's going to tell us more, but they're going to be doing 2 screenings because it's World Cinema Day. And guess what? It's Caribbean Day on that day. They're doing, I think there's probably about 6 or 7 over the course of this year. I think they've done Asian already, and I think it was West Africa 2 weeks ago. And so 25th of July, it'll be Caribbean Day. And at 2 o'clock, told you, flying bloody, sorry. That's why it's called Real Talk. Flying bloody ants. Ugh. I see one more, I'm inside. Yeah, cool runnings. Cool runnings. And that is a film. You've seen it, Shell?
Oh, yes, many times.
Isn't it? It's a film.
I think that was, for me,
yeah.
Already knowing some of the culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I have watched the winter sports, which is what it's all about, if you've not watched it. And I was interested in, because I knew the story and because I know some of the culture. But I think that was the first film I saw that actually kind of represented the culture well. You know, to actually introduce how the differences are and seeing like your home as such. No, sometimes it had been portrayed completely different, but I've loved that right from the get-go.
I don't know how many times I've seen it. Seen it, and it's one of those films that it's not like, oh, I've seen it before. It's like, and to see it, I know for a fact I'm not seeing it on the big screen.
No,
it's just it is not the same. If you ever go to, or you're watching things at home, it's all great and all of that jazz. But do you know what? This is how the Orange Picture Club are doing this. This is actually free. Do you hear the words? Free. So there is no charge at all. So bring everybody.
I think I need to bring them on. How's he doing this free?
Well, they have got funding. They are doing. Are you sure?
How you doing?
Yo, Jasper. Hi.
Hi.
We're good. Right? We're good. Yeah.
You want to answer that question?
Of course.
How am I doing? So there's a fund called the Citizens Fund that we applied for. What I think it was like this time last year. Essentially, if you don't know what the Citizens Fund is, essentially different groups within different wards essentially present their idea to a public group kind of forum. So it's basically you're in a room, you present your idea with
bit of a Dragon's Den, isn't it? Let's be honest.
A little bit, kind of, but with the public. It is a bit like that. It's a small fund. So if you're starting out as a CIC, it's a small enough fund wherein you can do something. Like it's a decent fund where you can do something, but it's small enough that it's not so large and so big. It's like a good stepping point for where you're starting the journey, and especially the fact that they force you into this public setting, so you have to figure out. People will question. Oh, so what's this project about? What's this about? What's this about? Right. So you have to have those answers ready. So it kind of it helps. I think it's really good for beginner CICs personally. The community fund, that's it. Citizens Fund. Yeah.
We have done that a few years back.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been around the block.
We've been what?
You've been around the block.
You say that's a lot around the block.
I heard around the block. I mean, I guess.
Well, the terminology, Jasper, because I know you're a youngster, but it's like, do you know what I mean? We're old. We've been round the block. Yeah. So, yeah. Don't you worry. I'll be seeing you in a few weeks. I'll sort you out then.
Oh, cool.
We are super excited to be involved. Not just in this screen, because we are involved in other ones as well. But super excited. Going to be there. I know Tishi's booked. Shell. Tishi's got her tickets already, and I know some other people. Yeah. And some other people are purchasing when I say purchasing, you do need to register. You don't just rock up. You do need to register,
please, yeah,
so that we've got an idea of numbers, because hopefully there'll be a little bit of food.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, the food. Yes, that's going to be an interesting one as well, isn't it? We've got a few different. It's not just, by the way, if you're listening and you're like, oh, this is interesting. It's not just 2 films. So the idea was that we play a mainstream film to bring people in, like Cool Runnings, and then we play a more independent film that's more about the culture. So you leave thinking about deeper things. But we're also working with several different organizations. So yourselves, Beyond Luton Carnival 50. And if you don't know who they are an organization that sort of started beginning of this year to celebrate Carnival's 50th year. And they've done several events throughout the town, showcasing, photos, archive, video, photos, all those kind of things of Carnival throughout the years. It's really amazing stuff. And we're going to have a workshop with Gabrielle where she's doing like a photo collage. So if you've got any photos from back in the day when you were in Carnival and you don't mind giving them up, or we can do some photocopying, that can be a part of the large Luton Carnival collage that we'll be doing there. I think that would be where we'll do a bit more of like a talky bits as well. We're kind of like talking about our experiences. It won't just be sticking photos as well. I think it'll be a bit more of a communal thing, you know.
So it's not just the cinema. It's
no. It's got a lot more interaction.
Lots going on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the idea of it is that I want communities outside of the Caribbean community to come down, enjoy the day, but also learn something that they might otherwise not have about the Caribbean culture or community. Because each time I've kind of gained something or learned something about the different communities or different cultures we've already done. So we've already done South Asian, which was 25th of May, and that was the glass worker and My Name is Khan. And then we did West African Day a couple of weeks ago, and that was Black Girl and The Lost Tree. And then Caribbean Day is the 29th of July. You keep saying 25th.
25th. That's 29th.
You. 29th. It's 29th. Yeah. And then the next ones is Eastern European and Irish Day. So I think that's.
You've got two more to go. Excellent. Excellent. So on the 29th of July, is that correct? Wednesday. It's because the date changed, Shell. That's what it is. Wednesday, the 29th of July. Is there? Yeah. It's not compulsory, but it was just a case of like if people want to represent their island, or just colours, just the vibrancy. You know what you're wearing already, Shell. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, bring whatever colours represent your culture. I don't know why I've not brought this idea before, because it would be
because you've not spoken to me, Jasper.
I've not spoken to Dee. Yeah, that's
now that you've spoken to me, I think. But it's a nice little touch, isn't it, Shell? Do you know what? Each one, people can sort of like. Do you know what I mean? The colours. Because you imagine when you take photos and any video footage, it's just going to be incredible.
Yeah, no, it'd be great if we can get some people coming in traditional Irish wear or a sari or things like that, and then you've got Caribbean wear coming in, and then you've got all these different colors, and it's just an aspect that I'd never even thought about until obviously I spoke to Dee. In our meeting, Dee has said that she wants to make this day the best one out of all of them.
Yeah. Let's be fair. Shell knows how it goes.
Yeah, which is great. I love that so much. Yeah, so if you're out there and you're a fan of Caribbean, make sure you come to this event.
Yeah. When you say Caribbean, they're all going to be fighting over which island is the best. So when Dee was saying bring your flags, it would be like, oh no.
You bring your flags, bring your whistles, bring your t-shirts. Montserrat. Wow. Okay. You've not heard of that, have you?
I've not heard of that.
So if I say Antigua, you've heard of Antigua?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, and then also if I say in terms of Montserrat, probably about 27 years ago now, and there was a volcano that erupted, and it was on the mainstream news. It was everywhere, and a lot of people had to leave the island. So a lot of people came to the UK, and so
Is that why you came? Or...
No,
Okay.
no, I
Okay.
was born in Paddington, London. So,
Okay.
so prior to that, you would say sort of like that. My parents were Windrush times. So that's how I've sort of like I'm over here, and as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
The rest is history. But Jasper, tell us sort of like the Orange Picture Club. How long have you guys? No, that's honestly, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I was thinking, like, do you know what? If you want me to do a little talk on the day, or actually maybe do a little song. I heard your lunchtime show.
No, 100%. I do this with all of them. Where before the film, I had the organizations come up and just talk about themselves and their organization and what they do and why I even brought them in the first place. So I will be doing that. I haven't spoken to you explicitly about it, but yeah, 100%.
Oh, don't worry about that.
I figured you'd do it anyway. You can just stroll up on stage like, oh, by the way.
But we're having our banner. We're going to have a little table there, sort of like anyway. So whilst we're there,
the events that you've got coming up, because as much as I want this to celebrate the cultures, I also want to celebrate the organizations that are doing this great work, because then it has that longevity. So if you've come in, you've never heard of Simple Deez events, and then you see that you've got other things going on, then you can, in my hope that it gathers more people for everyone involved.
Totally. Excellent. No, I'm really looking forward to that. It's only a few weeks. Sorry?
You were asking a question and I took it away. I said something else. I can't remember what it was.
Again, that's 2 strikes now, Jasper. 2.
Am I out? It says 3.
Yeah, you're nearly going to get ejected, love.
Oh, right. Been in it like, what, 10 minutes?
So I was just saying, the Orange Picture Club, how long have you guys been going now?
We started, so we did a trial run in 2024. It was Christmas 2024. We had quite a few people on that one. And the idea was, let's see how it goes. Let's just do a Christmas show. And we played Gremlins, Home Alone 1, and God, I don't know what that. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life. So we tried to mix it up. Yeah, exactly. We played that. It's amazing, isn't it? It's a great film. I love that film.
Yeah.
Very emotional, because a few people, there were some people that had come, and it was some younger women who had come, and they'd literally just seen a leaflet, heard about the film, and thought they would just come over and watch it. And I was like, wait a minute, you don't seem like the age group for this. You don't seem like the demographic whatsoever, but you've decided to come and you really enjoyed it, which I really loved. Haven't seen those people again since, but there you go. So we did that in 2024, and we said to ourselves, if it doesn't do well, if we don't make anything better, if like no one comes, then we'll just leave it there. And it was just a fun experiment. It did well, so we were like, it broke even. So we're like, you know what, we can do this. This is good. So we incorporated, and it's just like, it's so volatile. It's unbelievably volatile. When like we live in an era where it's not just the cinema and TV anymore. It's social media, your phone, YouTube, all the streaming sites, the cinema, and all these things are fighting for your attention. So we find it quite difficult to get people in the door, just generally speaking, because I think there's just a larger problem with people going out and enjoying films. A lot of the time, a lot of the films that we played are on streaming. So we played Shrek before while it was on Netflix. So it's quite difficult to get a parent to be like, okay, I'll go out, spend some money that I'm not already spending, because you've paid for that subscription. So it's there, it's done. You stick it on, stick your kids there. But the people that have come, I do find that they do enjoy it, because it's like, one, they can guarantee get their kids out the door, spend a few hours outside, but it's a guaranteed good film, in the sense that sometimes you could take your kids to one of the newer films that are coming out and then be slightly disappointed with what comes out. The kids love it. They're like, oh, it's great. But then you're sitting there thinking, is that the best message for a children's film nowadays? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I can't think of anything off my top of my head. Maybe the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie.
You know what, I have been along.
Huh?
Sorry, I have been along to. I think it was Beauty and the Beast with my granddaughter, and that was a few months back. And
the live action. Or the animated our showing, you mean?
Yeah. And in terms of she had an amazing time. She'd never seen it before.
Yes.
In terms of sort of like, because obviously we're coming up to holiday time, so all the parents, grandparents, and people that are going to be looking after kids during the holiday time. I don't know what else you have screening during the holiday period, but it was affordable. Okay, which is key. You know, there was, you know, little snacks available if they wanted to purchase, and all round, she absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved the whole thing.
I love that.
And so it's like, when are we going? And I'm thinking, like, when Jasper decides to put on something else, darling, we'll be going along. So Cool Runnings, I'll be bringing her.
We've got Lilo and Stitch. You might like that. That's on the 25th.
Oh yeah, oh, she loves that.
Yeah. That's 25th of July. So that's a Saturday. Yeah.
That's the day that you was gonna. Why did you do that?
I didn't do that. I don't know. That was always 25th, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we've got Lilo and Stitch, we've got Jurassic Park, and we've got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in July, so like late July. 19th for Jurassic Park, 25th for Lilo and Stitch, and 26th for Spider-Man. So we're trying to bring more kids films and try to like placate more to that summer vibe. Luckily, as well, with Spider-Man, it's just a few days before the new Spider-Man film comes out, because that would have been like
just a little by default, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes I look ahead and I'm like, oh god, this falls in. Like, there's a few that fall on exactly on World Cup days, and I'm like, God, what am I gonna do? Yeah, there's the 19th. With Jurassic Park, that's falling on a World Cup day. Like in the evening, there's the World Cup. So I could see, like, if you're not doing anything in the daytime, come and watch Jurassic Park.
You might be somebody that doesn't not interested in football, and it'd be a nice way to sort of like get out and do something.
Very small amount of people. But I mean, it's in the end of the day, I'm not putting them on to make money. We're putting them on just because, just as you said, your niece came down and hadn't seen it before, and I can't stress how many times that's happened where I'm playing a classic from our childhood like Aladdin, and some of the kids haven't seen it, and it's generally like, is there a gap missing nowadays where when we were growing up you would see something on reruns, so I'd end up watching something from the 80s or the 70s because there's literally nothing else on. I didn't really have a choice. I was kind of forced to watch things because my dad forced me, or because there literally wasn't anything else on. Yeah. But nowadays, because kids have YouTube and social media and streaming, there is never nothing to watch. There's always something new to watch, whether it's your favorite YouTube creator or it's a new streaming thing. So they never have the need to go back and watch any of those old cartoons or old TV shows or old series or anything like that. They're stuck in an algorithm that, unlike when we were watching TV, where I could watch something on, like, you know, BBC or Sky, or maybe on Sky, for example, you know, at like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock on a Sunday, Saturday, they would play a film, if you guys remember that. And then on Monday, I could go into school and be like, hey, did you watch that film? Yeah. Like, it was Terminator 2. You know, I've never seen it before. I heard my dad talking about it. Now I watched it. You don't really have that nowadays, unless your parent literally forces you to watch it because it's on streaming. Yeah, it's the difference between choice and being given something. Before, it was like a curated playlist of TV shows and films and what have you on your cable, but now it's like you can choose whatever you want to watch. And the problem is that we're very bad at choosing. You know? We're terrible. Like, you probably know when you're sat there like, okay, we've got some time, let's watch a new film, and then you end up watching these series that you've watched like 1,000 times.
It's not the same though, watching it on TV. It's not the same as when you're in a space with other people, and the vibe and the energy is just totally different. Totally different. You know,
I think that's what a lot of them got with Beauty and the Beast, that You know, these kids are just, even if it's just a bunch of like kids being kids, as a child, if someone starts, you know, starts smiling or laughing during the film, it's like an allergic reaction. The rest of you start doing it, you know. And this is where those viral moments with like the Marvel movies really come into play, where, you know, they might reveal their mask or something, and then you hear the audience go nuts. I think we got addicted to that a little bit, that these movie studios was like, oh, this is so great, these viral moments, let's keep making them.
That's right.
Big moment. But if it doesn't work, if it's not built to that, if it hasn't been years and years of building characters and building stories to a moment that really crescendos, instead of just throwing stuff at the wall because you hope, you know, where you've seen it before, where an old character from a film series comes in and you're like, oh, look at this character we haven't seen before in years, like in Indiana Jones or something like that. And then you're like, oh, wow, look at this. And then you want to watch it because of that fact, I think. And we're using those things as props, not as characters or things to explore or ideas or things to explore anymore. We're just using them to kind of bring more people in. Oh.
Who is that?
I just crash bombed his story. I just listened to his
No, not at all. Not at all. We're just about to reject him.
Yeah, if I get rejected, we can swap out.
Jasper, remember?
Where you were saying about films and how they come back onto the big screen, we've had it recently with two big ones because they've had their anniversary. So you had Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
And you had Top Gun.
Ooh,
now, we went with kids that are like 18 to 20 to watch Top Gun.
Oh, yeah.
And they were kind of okay-ish with the story, but all of them said, and it was showing what we were like, was that was so loud. And I'm thinking, well, that is how it was. It's the change of the production kind of things, because we had such that speakers weren't quite the same, and whether the speakers are better now, I don't know. But they were all saying that was really loud, like, or did the engines, you really felt the engines and stuff. And of course, I'm just going along and like saying all the words and everything. They thought I was absolutely hilarious. But because it gets to if anyone hasn't seen Top Gun, but when it gets to the point where the guy dies and I'm like, no, can't watch it, and I'm like this, and my mates were knowing what I was reacting to, but forgetting the kids had not watched it before. But yeah, to actually have some films that actually do stand up to being put back on a big screen nowadays is amazing. But you don't actually sit down to watch a film on telly anymore. Most of the kids are watching it on their tablet.
Yeah, if they are watching a film,
big screen of telly.
Half the time, they're usually watching
that time period. Yeah. So I think the fact of what you've got there is to be able to take them out of the home and to be able to have that family time, or if it could, whether it's one-on-one or whatever it is, I think it is brilliant. Do you remember when we had it's supposed to be a brief conversation, but ended up being a little bit longer? Just my head starts downloading things with regards to what you guys are doing. I'm thinking as in like schools, and kind of like somehow being able to bring that in, I don't know about whether taking it into the school or getting the schools maybe, you know, on a half day. It's part of a project to actually go and watch some of the stuff that you have that you're screening. I think to link you with schools, you know, specifically sort of like primary schools, and just be, I think that would be a good thing. So those funders out there.
Yeah, that is something we want to do. We've got some contacts with schools, and we kind of need to build up a better rapport with them, where we go into the school, where we play some films, or it might be a scenario where we invite a bunch of. We have done that. I've gone into school emails, sending out emails about our screenings, and it's landed on deaf ears. I've gotten some.
It's like you've got gatekeepers, haven't you, Shel?
Yeah.
You've got gatekeepers, and those emails will potentially never get to the right place.
Person. Yeah.
So
this is why I build these relationships.
We know people who are, if they're not watching now, they'd better be watching. because we'll be sharing this out. But everybody within our circle, either they themselves, that's the one, that's a teaching assistant right there.
That's counting down the days and hours, I bet.
She's one of the Simply Deez crew, by the way, Jasper.
Oh, okay,
and know sort of like whether they be teachers, and that is a way in. Do you know what I mean? That is like a direct way in, and sort of like how we can utilize what you do, and as in like having that as it is a learning tool, and how maybe sort of like some thoughts, maybe you guys, and of how you can utilize. It's not just a case of like the kids going and seeing a film, that's it. Maybe how the school can somehow use that
as a way, as a teaching tool. For example, like Cool Runnings, for example. I know it's not like super historically accurate, but as a kid, that literally, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Was that the first time I'd actually watched a film about Jamaican culture? Obviously, I'd seen a bunch of, my dad and a lot of my family were really into Bob Marley. So I'd seen his poster and the album art all over the place. Like I knew Bob Marley and I knew he was from Jamaica, but I didn't know what it looked like. I had no idea. And then we had this VHS of Cool Runnings, and my dad loved the film. And I remember watching it and we're like, oh, this is a cool film. And the vibe of where it was and the location. And then only now realizing, thinking back, I'm like, that is probably the first time I've been introduced to the Jamaican culture as it is. It's probably not the best representation of it. It is Disneyfied, 100%. But it was the first time I'd learned about something like that, and about that culture, and about the vibe and the humor, and also the humanity of these people, and as well as just how fun they all seemed, you know, just from it, you know. And in fact, it seemed like fighters, I guess that's the best way to put it. You know, they would pick themselves up and they'd carry on.
And just keep going, and
so for a child like me, it gave me a good overview of what this time was like. Because remember, I was born in the 90s, so it's not that racism didn't exist.
Sorry. Sorry, Sel, do you hear that?
I was born in 2002. I'm like, good Lord, kill me now. But my point being is that even though in the 90s racism wasn't completely gone, it was definitely a different flavor compared to what it was in the 70s or the 80s. So to watch films like that gave me a better, like I was watching it like, oh, well, did people get weirded out by that? That was genuinely like having a crisis. Like, remember, as a 90s kid, this is something that was talked about and referenced in sitcoms and stuff, but it wasn't something that I saw or really experienced until I was about 8, 9, 10, 11. It was actually when I moved to Luton that I actually experienced.
Where were you living before?
I was living in London. I'd never had that in London, to be honest with you, because I went to a very mixed school. And so when I came here and went to school in Cannington, it was a very different environment. And it wasn't even that bad when I say, you know, the racism. Like, it was just more of, you're different. Yes, that's true. I am. But yeah, so I think using films as a teaching tool, I mean, a lot of schools use Schindler's Lists as a way to kind of like show the atrocities, but I think we can do that with happy films, i.e. Cool Runnings. You know? So I went on a mad tangent there, didn't I?
No, Jasper, honestly, you're absolutely fine. I love it. And it's something that, who knows, could well be like a talking tool. It may be a film that gets you into some doors, because I'm thinking the kids are breaking up in probably a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah, soon.
And so I was just thinking, as in terms of like, if we can do our utmost. So that's everybody who's watching, who's not watching. We don't ask for much. We really don't. Well, we don't ask for much, but just to share the information. I know Shirley's posted the link. All the information is across the screen, and that's not just for this film. Obviously, there's loads of other stuff that you guys do as well.
Oh yeah, another thing that we're
is that
doing.
Mac?
No.
Yeah, I saw it.
Where?
All right, go on.
When you came in earlier, yeah.
No. Sorry, go on.
Wait, just a second ago. No, he sat there in the corner. He said,
Yeah, no, I was talking about the new thing that you guys do.
Oh yeah, that is Mac, and that is the rest of us. So it's brought in by the Independent Cinema Office, and it's also in collaboration with, I might be getting a little bit of this wrong, BFI and FAN and National Lottery. It's quite a big project with a lot of moving parts, but essentially, to sum it up in one sentence, it's essentially to build up community cinemas in different parts of Luton.
Brilliant.
So it's sustainable as well. So it's a 3-year program, and
Brilliant.
at the end of it, the objective is to have community cinemas all around Luton that are sustainable, that don't need us involved whatsoever. So we help them with getting licenses, with swaying screens, with how to bring in how to bring in audience members, all that kind of jazz. And so we're kicking off this project with a special.
No, I'm not going. Don't worry.
I was.
I've got ice cream in the freezer.
No. I just realised that it's you. It is. Yeah, we're playing a really special film called Cinema Paradiso on the 12th of July. So literally this Sunday coming. It's completely free. And this is where at 2:30 we'll have networking. So come down and talk to some of the people that we've got. We've got a lot of the delivery partners. So Rainham Way, I don't think Rainham Way is going to be there, but we do have Rainham Way, Culture Trust, Revolut, and
Bute Street,
University, the council. Those are all of our delivery partners. So they're going to help us. Wow. Putting these cinemas in different places, and the idea is that we build up and gain more organizations as we go through the years. So if you're hearing this and like, oh, that's a great idea, I would love that for my organizations, give us an email, get in contact with us, and we can get you for the next year or even the third year. Shit, what was it? It's a lot. Yeah, so come to.
Don't worry, Jasper. It's not live. Don't worry, it's not live.
Oh, is it not? Oh, is it? For a second, I believed that, and then I looked in the corner, live. Liar. But yes,
don't worry.
Cinema Paradiso at 3:30. The reason why I think everyone should just come to it anyway. One, it's completely free, and it is a really amazing film. So it's about this Italian boy in his small town who finds.
Sorry, guys. I got my neighbour, my neighbour, and I said to him yesterday to let me know what the score was. Brazil versus who? Norway, and he's just come to tell me what the score was. What was it? No way, Norway won. How old are you? He's 8, and he's just come to tell me that.
That's cool.
Do you want to wave to the people?
Hi.
You made it very uncomfortable.
They go now. So, all right, see you later, darling.
Where was I? Yes.
It is live. Yeah.
It's an amazing film. It's essentially about a film director who comes back to his old town and reminisces on the history and how he grew up there. And as a kid, he makes friends with the projectionist in a local cinema, and they basically grow. He teaches them how to live life and to move forward, as well as it kind of gives him that magic of filmmaking. So then he goes on later on in life to be a film director. It's very nostalgic. There's something about, I think if you've lived in Luton your whole life and you're reminiscing on an old Luton where ABC Cinema was there and all these.
Don't get us started on that. Don't get us started.
You truly love this film. Like, no joke, you will have a moment watching this film. Like, not even just a moment. You will cry, break down, and literally feel all the feels. It's genuinely amazing.
What certificate is it?
It is a 50. So yeah, kids maybe not. I there's the reason why it's a 50 because of one scene in particular. I'm like,
it's always something like that, I know, yeah.
It's 1988, so there's certain things that happen in
Is it risque?
Genuinely speaking, no, it's not scary. It's more just kind of silly. Basically, because it's a community, it's a cinema, and it's based in like the 60s to 70s. And while playing one of the films, there's a kid who's
Yeah, you can't say it now. Say it all, can you?
But essentially, it's not really okay. Yeah, I'm kind of butchering my explanation of it, but essentially,
Yeah, you are.
It's a heartfelt film about an old projectionist who meets a young boy and teaches him about the magic of film. Yeah, I'll just leave it.
Okay.
Forget everything else I
Question.
said. Yes.
Question, Jessica. So, in terms of throughout with this new project, how are the films chosen? I mean, as a community, do we get an opportunity to? Oh, I fancy that, or is it a case of you choose the films and that's it?
That is a great question, Dee.
All my questions are great.
So with this first one, we did choose it, and we chose it literally because of the type of film it is. It's about cinema. It's about community. So we thought it was a really good pick to, out the gate, kind of introduce the idea of what Spotlight Luton is and what this project is. There is a mandate from the BFI, from Spotlight, from the ICO, basically saying that we do need to play independent films, like some independent films, but we also can play mainstream films as well. Each partnered organization are able to choose what independent film and what mainstream film they want to play. So that is up to them. But they do need to pick an independent film. So the whole point is that while we're also bringing community cinemas to people, we're also trying to spread meaningful cinema. So we don't want to, have by the end of these 3 years, we don't want several screenings in Luton that are playing Minions. Yeah. We want to have a bit more culture brought to it, but at the same time, balance that with family films and mainstream films.
Brilliant. Fantastic. You kind of like, you guys are on the map now, right?
Oh my God, there's too many things. Like, so there's this World Cinema, there's this ICO project, and we're also doing the Orange Academy, where we're doing workshops teaching people how to make a documentary. So we're going through the lessons of how you would make a documentary, writing, production, post-production, freelance, and all that other stuff. Yes, a separate project.
So if somebody's interested, is that something that's started already? Is it too late to join?
So on our website, you can see, if you go to the little top tab, you'll see the Orange Academy. If you go on there, read the information, and then you can sign up, or you can let us know that you're interested. It is 18 plus though. So
okay. What about cost?
It's completely free. It's completely free. The idea.
I don't understand why you're not promoting this. My God, documentary.
That one is more of a, not of a closed. It's more, we're going to universities, organizations directly, being like, do you know anyone? Because it is very limited. We can only take about 16 people. The idea is that you come in and you use your phone. We teach you how to use your phone, basically, with the filming, with editing and all that kind of stuff. So we don't give you a camera. We just kind of like use the equipment that you have. But it is still very limited. We can only take about 16 people. So this is why we're not.
Know that we're going to do a documentary.
Sorry?
I know someone. I know somebody was going to do a documentary. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Shel? Do you? Yeah. The mother hosts one of our shows at lunchtime.
Oh, really? Oh, she's got a documentary about.
No.
She would like to. She was involved in one that went out on telly.
I think it was 4 years ago. It was mental health, and it had what's the guy's name? I can't remember. It's quite famous, but it was mental health. It was on Channel 4. It's on Channel 4. I'll send it to you when I find it, Jasper.
Yeah.
And she's in there. I think it's a 2-parter or something. She's actually in there, and she's talking about doing her own documentary. That was a little while back. So, is this during the day, in the evenings, or is it just? How flexible is this?
It's pretty flexible. It'll be kind of, well, sort of, not really. It's like one
sort of, not really.
Yeah. Sorry. It's one lesson per week, or it'll be. My brother still hasn't like 100% nailed down when or what times it'll be. It's really, so it might be a case of 1 week this day, 1 week this day, 1 week another day. It might be a bit all over the place. Hopefully not. I think we're going to try to keep it to one Wednesday or one Thursday or one particular day throughout the weeks, but it may change depending on it. We might also there's a couple lessons about production. We might put them relatively close together. So it's like do one production day this part of the week, and then later on in the week, or even the start of the next week. So it's very close to each other. So it's in your head, but then the others are a bit more spaced out. While it is about documentary, we do have a few lessons about photography. We have one about film analysis, and also about being a freelancer. So there's some lessons that aren't particularly about documentary exclusively.
That's good.
So if you do want more information, just go on theorangepictureclub.co.uk, and then within the tabs you'll be able to find more information about the Orange Academy and the World.
I was just looking at you because you were saying about your website and stuff, because you've got the workshops and stuff that are always popping up for different things in there. I mean, Luton Spider-Man doing his costume workshops.
Oh, that you're talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, there's always different things that you're doing around film, and it also then kind of comes into TV and everything else. But it's just it's the whole thing. I mean, I've got people that I've got someone that's just gone through university that's done like the film, sort of like that film kind of degree. But when you look at it, it's like, well, it covers everything, because you might want to be behind the camera, you might want to be in production, you might want to be the director, you might want to get into sound. There's so much that you can get into. I mean, I love photography. I'm not very good at giving me a posh camera to try and do something, but if you give me a camera and I can, it's just because of the way that I visually look at things. I can do the screenshot. I can see something that is the best picture. Like, I've gone to weddings and my phone camera is pretty good, because I always do make sure I've got that, but I'll get a different angle of a picture. People, you get your proper photography and it's all kind of like that. There's one that my cousin's that she's got up on the side of her wedding with her dad, because I shouted out their name and they just both turned around and looked, because I saw what was behind them and just, okay, just turn around and look at me. One of my other friends, it was a really nice building.
I'm just going inside.
It's got too many flying ants, I bet you. It was a really nice building. Because you're taking pictures, you're only really seeing the door, but this has got like a real nice top to it. So I got hold of their camera and shot it upwards, so you got them and the building. Yeah. It's just little things like that. But I couldn't. Yeah, give me a posh camera, and I'm perhaps not so good, because I have to.
No, I know what you mean, but then I think that's just more of like you know how to drive, right? Yeah, but if I stuck you in a car before you learn how to drive and said drive, you'd be like, I can't do this. It's just a tool. That's all it is. So the camera in itself is just a tool, and learning how the settings work or what you need to do to get the thing that you want. I mean, you're halfway there in the sense that instinctively you knew there was a thing behind, there was a object, or there was a background behind the object, and you frame it in a certain way. You were like, okay, I want to get the entire building, so that means I need to go low angle and to get all of them in. So I need to go further back, low angle, to get the tippy top of the building.
Yeah.
Those instincts are what you need for photography. And then everything else you could just sort of learn on. You can just learn on YouTube. Like, there's little problems like how to load the battery, or what does ISO mean on a camera, or how do I change speed? All of these things, just Google, and Google will tell you. Hell, ChatGPT will tell you. So what I'm trying to say is that half the time, a lot of people tend to not get into art because of some sort of technology or some sort of thing being the barrier. Oh, I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to pick up a camera. I don't know how to do this thing or that thing. So it stops them from actually exploring that art form, when in actuality, that is one of the simplest things to learn how to use a paintbrush and how paints actually work. It's relatively simple. It takes like 2 minutes on Google or YouTube. It's just the technique and all those other things that come with it. But that's where the fun comes in, because you're exploring your own self-expression through the tool itself. You know what I mean?
For anyone for what I've just said when on my phone, the biggest thing that I always say to people is, don't bother trying to set up the best shot if you're taking pictures like that. Just do a shot, and then you can edit it down to what you actually want to be. So if it is that you've got, like, I mean, people were trying to look at what buildings are around or what trees are around and stuff, and it's like, well, no, just take the picture, and I can cut it that way, and then you'll have what you want behind you, kind of thing. It is easy to do, but yeah. But then my dad was a bit of a perfectionist when it came to matching up paints and bits and pieces. He used to work on cars. So when you get these little things that I grew up with, and then I'm like, I'm now turning into him. I'm turning into him.
Your dad, yeah. Right, Jasper, I am going to let you go.
Okay.
We hope potentially if I've got Mr. Akinsanya. I don't know if he's in the. Is he in the wings, Shelley? He's not. He's messaging me now. So
So this Sunday, we'll let you know. Thingy, isn't it?
This Sunday is Cinema Paradiso. If you go to spotlightluton.co.uk, you'll be able to see that information there. And then we've got Caribbean Day, the 29th of July. We've also got 19th of July, Jurassic Park, Lilo and Stitch, 25th of July, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, 26th of July. So yeah, I think that's everything.
We've got busy summer.
Busy,
Are we getting dressing up for suits for the Marvel things though? Do you think?
You guys can. I'm not going to stop anyone from dressing up. You guys can. You're welcome.
Someone will go full Marvel, won't they? Or some people. No, there will be.
It was lovely to be here as always. And it was lovely to talk to you guys, as always.
No problem. We that's what we're here for, Jasper. And if others don't want to use us as in it's Stephen Williams.
They just don't know that they could.
No, yes, they do. We say every show and everything like that. We are here. So anybody doing anything in the community, whether they're an individual or organisation, please contact us. They are more than welcome to come on the show and promote whatever it is that they're doing. So hopefully
help that we know someone that will know someone.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't know what I have to start messaging people or telling them if they've got an event.
No worries, Jasper. Thank you so much. We will see you. I don't know about this weekend, but certainly on the 29th. And we're getting masses there. We're going to come in colour. We're going to bring the vibe. All of that.
It couldn't be without you.
I have to wear my Wagwan t-shirt again.
Yeah. Well, one. And the trousers. Look at that. You're kitted out already, Shell.
Yeah.
All right, Jasper. Thank you so much, my love. And we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye. Stephen, is he in the wings?
He's in the wings, yeah.
Yeah, because he sort of said, hi, I'm up there. Do you know what? I actually think I might cry. Why are you laughing? I do. I needed to say, in all seriousness, Elsie, that's your wife, isn't it?
Yep.
Elsie, you know, I look at your husband as my brother. You are my brother. And I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless just for a second, because I'm like, I think I might have messaged you on Sunday and you're like, let me see, Dee, and then comes back and it's like, yeah, I'm like, people don't understand. You probably don't understand, Stephen, what it means. It's humongous. In my 61 years, there are a few men. And you're in that top.
That's very kind of you, Dee.
No. And that's what I'm saying to Elsie. Elsie, I love your brother, your husband, like my brother. That's what I meant to say. Honestly, so much love and respect for everything, which we are going to cover. Don't you worry about that, Stephen. Don't think you're here for your looks. No offense, love. I thought, do you know what? He's going to kill me, because there's me. I'm looking for a few old photos and I'm going, and I found the one where we were in the studio. I'm like, oh, wow, because you came to the studio a few times. And then I'm like, he don't look like that now. He's lost a good few stone. He's not going to be happy with that picture, Dee Bailey. I thought, well, hopefully he won't keep watching the video to actually see that picture. And then I put it as my profile picture. So you remember our Shell, don't you? You remember Shell?
Of course. Hi, Shelley. Nice to see you again.
Oh my gosh. Where am I going to start with you, young man? Where am I going to start? Okay, so firstly, to the masses out there, I will tell you again and again, don't worry about me being repetitive, Stephen. Nothing's changed. I will repeat myself. You need to be sharing. Okay, seriously, you need to be sharing. We are live on YouTube and also on Facebook on our page. The messages that are going to be shared over the next whatever period of time that I can get me claws into Stephen for is for everybody. What? Everybody. Because there is no way, I guarantee, there isn't something that you won't learn, that you didn't know before, that is going to help somebody. And potentially, we may be even talking about saving a life. And I'm being serious and I'm keeping it real. This is Real Talk, and we are live with Stephen Akinsanya. Am I right in saying that? They were chatting on the earlier lunchtime show about you, and they were going like, I don't know if he's had it yet. I'm thinking like, no, because I'm sure he would have sent a picture. Have you been?
No, I'm still waiting to make the trip.
Oh, that's okay. We're following you like crazy. If you might see sort of like the amount of hits on your name and people scrolling to find out information. Has he? Hasn't he? And I'm thinking, no, because Stephen would have sent me a picture of that. I'm sure.
Definitely.
I'm sure. So
do you even know where you get to go? Sorry, do you even know where you're going to get to go for your OB?
No, I don't know if it will be Windsor or the Palace itself, but I'll know. I should know fairly soon.
We'll be traveling with you in spirit. Don't you worry, Stephen. Don't you worry. So, for the masses out there going like, my God, she's been hyping on about some guy. His name's Stephen. That's easy. The other bit, we're like, don't know about that. It took me a little while, guys. You got to practice. Akinsanya. It took me a little while to get that right. Trust me. And Stephen's very gracious and allowed me to get it wrong on several occasions. I'm getting it right now. So, Stephen, it is important for me so I can look back, and the masses out there like the onion. I don't want to be where we are now, because we're talking about your name, we're talking about OBE, and everyone's like, oh, who is he? What's he done? I need to peel it back. And I remember some of this from the occasions where we've had the international men's events in Luton, and I've asked you to come down and give a talk, and you must have been to Luton at least 5 times. And I'm not even just talking about for the events, you've also been on the show, and I'm just keeping it real. Not once did you ask me for a penny. Not once. I remember, I think it may even have been the first time, like, I'm not sure, Dee, I'm not sure. And I'm thinking, this guy is busy anyway. So do you know what? If he can come, absolutely fantastic. And you said to me, my wife's on holiday. I've got to pick her up from the airport. You literally picked her up, dropped her home, and drove straight to Luton. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This is the dedication that you have given. And you know, there's so many things that you've done and it doesn't get mentioned, that people will never be aware of, that I'm not aware of. But anyway, Stephen, tell us. You're a twin, aren't you?
I am.
Sorry, I don't know why I got this. I'm thinking like, sorry, Shell's going, oh my God. Look, yeah, I'm a little giddy, guys. You don't understand. You know, when there's you've got an icon or somebody that you think so highly of that it's like, oh. This is Stephen, and he might as well be here. He might as well be here. So Stephen, taking us back all them years ago. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. All them years ago, but taking us back.
There are a few years.
I know you're. Do you know what I mean? I know you're one twin. You've got, it's a sister, isn't it? You've got a twin sister. Okay, so where were you born? Is it Bristol?
We were born in Bristol. Bristol,
See?
that's correct. Good memory.
That's because Lloyd's sister lives in Bristol.
Yeah, born in Bristol, all those years ago, 1967.
Wow.
And didn't stay in Bristol too long before my parents moved sort of south this way, and I've effectively, I guess, been in the borough of Croydon ever since. I still live in the borough of Croydon, although I've been moved to a few different homes. My mum still lives in the borough of Croydon. I think she's even watching now. But yeah.
Hi, Mum. Hi. I'm a super fan. That's what I am. I'm a super fan. Oh, your son, you must be so, oh my gosh, she must be so proud. Because I do see your pictures on her birthday, and you and your sons and your wife, and you're taking her out, and she looks so well.
Yep, 89 this year and still strong and sharp as ever.
Excellent. So, Stephen, how was school for you? With all that I know, forget me. Let's make the obviously the masses out there have got no idea about you or your background. So how was school actually for you? Did you enjoy it?
I loved school. It was, I mean, look, I'm a child of the 70s, so you know, as I regularly tell the youngsters I speak to in schools now, it was very different for me because in those days, when I show photos, my twin sister and I were the only 2 black children in the class. And there were some interesting things that were going on at the time. I'll put it that way. But we loved school. We loved learning. We loved the teachers. We had good friends. And even when there were negative things happening, even from some of the teachers, there was always a teacher who looked out for us. And I have fond memories of that particular teacher, who I'm always quick to praise for the way she looked after me and treated me.
Wow, that is good to hear. That really is. So school was fine, great. All that. What did you enjoy at school? What subject? What was your subject at school?
So, if I go back to primary school, I can't remember much about what I studied, but I just loved, running around and being with my friends. But by the time I got to secondary school, I loved history, which I did at A level, and I loved politics, and of course I did O level law. So I'd already had an inkling about where I was going to be heading. But I love learning. I love history. I love to know about things and the history of things. So that was my natural sort of inclination.
Oh, wow. So what's with the law thing? Because I remember the story that you told, and even the program. What got you into law? Why law?
So, I mean, you might remember this, Dee, and Shelley might remember it too. So every lunchtime, in those weekdays, you could go home for lunch at the school, and I used to go home for lunch with my sister. And on at lunchtime was a program called Crown Court. And I used to watch this program, and I noticed that no one looked like me who was a lawyer. They usually had someone who looked like me portraying the role of a defendant. But I wasn't sort of worried about that. I was more interested in the courtroom scene, the drama, the way they spoke, and of course the wig and the gown and what the judge was wearing. And I thought, that looks interesting. And combined with my I've always had a sense of fighting for the underdog. I cannot stand injustice. So I hated school bullies. I always used to stick up for my twin sister. With anyone who went near her or bullied her, there would be trouble. So those things coupled together sparked my interest in law. But of course, we didn't have the internet then, so you couldn't research what it meant. You had to literally go to the library. And I remember my trips to Brigstock Road Library in Thornton Heath, and sitting down downstairs in the children's library, and then going up to the adult library and looking for books about famous cases. And there was a particular book about famous Old Bailey cases and famous murder cases. And I never forget my dad being really, really worried when he saw me reading this book.
I think I would be.
What's my son reading? But, the rest is history.
Oh, my God. But, I mean, what were your friends into at the time? Because I can't imagine sort of like, it's football, it's all, sports, it's all that kind of stuff, and just playing around and being but you kind of seem kind of quite focused at a very early age.
Yeah, I mean, I liked football, and in fact, I could have been quite a good footballer. One of my friends and I, we were supposed to have a trial for Crystal Palace many years ago, but I recognized that I was never going to be that good that I could sort of make a career of it. And so when I realized I had an interest in law, albeit I didn't really understand what was required at that age, but it was something I was interested in, then I sort of quietly and silently started to plot a path of how I would get into it. But it wasn't easy. I was quick to tell the youngsters my path was not easy. There were many bumps in the road. I don't like to refer to the word failure, but there were a number of hurdles that tried to set me back, and I overcame them.
Can you share any of those bumps in the road, any of those hurdles? Because I know some people make an assumption when they see people at a certain level that they're sort of like glided there, and they've not had the trials, and everybody has that. Life is a roller coaster for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, well, I often say, life is like a book with many chapters, and every chapter there'll be a hurdle. But for some people, those hurdles don't appear in chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. They appear somewhere in the middle, or sometimes towards the end of the book. But I encountered some difficulties, most of them self-inflicted, in that I didn't realize that you can talk the talk, but you also have to walk the walk. And so I didn't apply myself, let's say, at O-level stage, when we had O-levels, and I did a lot of messing around, even though I knew where I wanted to go. I thought I could talk my way through it. And so O-levels came. First time round, out of the 8 O-levels that I sat, I got 2. And then I realized I needed to resit my O-levels in order to get the A-levels. And then, of course, I had a problem with the A-levels. When I sat my A-levels, history, politics, and economics, I didn't get the grades that I needed to go on to do a law degree. and I had to then take a job at night, a job, and then do my A levels by night school.
At the same time. Wow.
And I was always determined, but those were some hurdles that I had to overcome. And even now, after, this is my 34th year in practice, but I go right back to the beginning when, with my professional bar exams, I failed one of those modules and I had to resit that exam a year later. And that was painful because I saw a lot of my mates being called to the bar back in 1991 or 92, and I had to wait a whole year to be called to the bar in 1993. But I never gave up, and
Wow.
the rest is history, as they say, because no one sort of asks me unless it's a situation like this. Start of the career, but I'm always quick to share it with all the youngsters, particularly.
I was just going to say, definitely.
It's so important not to lose sight of where you're going, and of course be recognize that there will be bumps in the road, but it's how you meet those challenges.
Okay, so you are a barrister by profession. I was going to say trade, by barrister. And did you say 34 years?
Yeah, this is year 34 coming up.
Are you still wearing that scratchy wig even now in this heat?
Yeah, I wore it today. It was itching like crazy, but I did wear it.
Have they not changed the material? I mean, I don't know what it's made of. What's it made of?
It's made of horsehair. And some people who follically challenged like me, they will sew a piece of silk inside the wig so it's smooth. But I've sort of got used to it now, so I haven't done that.
So do you have more than one?
One's enough. If you're fortunate enough not to lose it, which I've been fortunate enough not to lose mine, but even back then, they're £500 a pop.
I was just going to ask, how much are they? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was £500 back in 1993 when I bought it, and I think they're roughly the same price, or maybe even more now.
Get on that internet, Shelley Titmus. Horse's hair. See, I told you guys, if you have not, you'll be like, I didn't know that, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. So, and it's basically the same style, right? You can't kind of jazz it up, flick it up.
No, they're all pretty much uniform the same. I mean, the judges' wigs are slightly different. They have judicial wigs, but barristers all wear the same sort of wigs. Although I understand now that there are wigs that are synthetically made or of some other material, but mine is an original horsehair wig.
Wow, sir. So no offense, but that's got to be insured, right? That you don't lose it.
Well, I don't know that I've insured it. I've just been fortunate enough not to lose it or leave it anywhere.
Wow. So potentially you've got that on all day. I mean, do you take a little breather? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, in weather like this, judges do allow us sometimes to remove our wigs in court, especially if the court building isn't air conditioned, which most of them aren't. So in really extreme weather, they'll say, look, we can take off the wigs and you can take off your barrister's gown as well.
Wow. So you're doing a little strip?
Yeah. You keep it decent though. You still keep your jacket.
Oh my gosh! So you've got your jacket and you've got oh my giddy aunt.
Yeah, and the bands, your collars and your bands. Yeah, it's quite hot.
So it must take you forever to get ready in the morning.
No, you can get ready at court fairly quickly, especially if you're running late.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. So what do you specialize in?
My main area of specialism over the last 30 years has been criminal law. I do a few other little bits and pieces, but I would say my mainstay has been criminal law, defending people who are accused of various criminal matters, offences, allegations.
Now, I recall on one of those international men's events, And I recall a young man called Aaron Fontaine. And he was brought there by another gentleman who has worked with our organisation before. And he thought, oh, gosh, he tried to get out of the event, to be honest with you. He didn't want to go along at all. And he made it there. And you kind of, I don't know, literally, you know, you've heard the terminology mic drop, right?
Mm.
That is literally how the feedback that we get when you come along. You just literally shut everything down, and nobody wants to hear anybody else, if I'm honest with you. Don't get upset, everybody else. Don't, you know, we're not going to support Simply Deez anymore, all of that jazz. We don't want to hear that. But I'm keeping it real. Stephen shuts things down. People can listen. Teresa is a super fan, one of our ladies, and I could listen to you all day. And people are going like, so what's he saying? What's he saying? This guy's a barrister. Yes, you are a barrister, and you told us what you specialise in. Can you tell us, because this is key for me, what are you doing? You're a barrister, you do all of that, great. What are you doing outside of that role? Outside of that. What are you taking your time? Where are you ploughing your energies and making such a big difference?
Not Robert Mugabe, it's actually Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu said at some point, you have to go upstream to find out why people are falling in. And so there came a point in my work where I was just increasingly becoming really upset and worried at the number of young people finding themselves into the adult courtroom in the criminal justice system, not for minor matters, but serious offending, particularly around the carrying of knives, where a young person would lose their life and another life would be wrecked by a life sentence with a long prison sentence that follows. And so outside of defending young men and to a lesser extent young women, I wanted to get into the minds of the youngsters to understand their mindset and why they were making certain decisions, but also to educate them about the realities of being involved in the criminal justice system. Because once the system has you, particularly for those sorts of offenses, your life pretty much can be over. And there's nothing more heartbreaking for me than to see young lives with potential, unfulfilled potential, either winding up in a graveyard where loved ones go to visit, or in a prison cell where the family has to go and visit. And so I've made it a mission over the last, I don't know how many years now, it's decades, but just going around educating youngsters in any forum, whether it's school, whether it's youth groups, church groups, and my own platform, Life in Focus, just trying to get youngsters to understand the perils of being involved in this kind of thing, but also trying to speak life to them, to say, look, your life is so much more than the decisions you're making in an instant, which would change your life in the course of your destiny forever, and to live a life of focus. That's what it's all about for me, fulfilling your potential and living a focused life to the best of your ability.
So you've just said you've been doing this for a number of years now. What changes would you say you've seen? And when I say changes as in bottom line, are things getting worse?
Yes. And that's what really, really worries me, because throw into the mix the advent of social media and all the problems that brings for young people whose minds are not fully formed to take into material and be able to disseminate between what is good and what is bad, or informs their pattern of thinking. So bring that into the equation. The breakdown of family, the breakdown of community, when you have all of these factors, it's just a recipe for disaster. And then, of course, you have the social economic issues that everybody's facing, including me. Everybody's under the cosh. And so when you bring all of those factors in together, they make a very bad cocktail, especially for young people. And my heart goes out to young people, because I think it's really tough being a youngster these days.
Yeah.
Youngsters trying to find employment. And so I've seen a decline in young people's mental health. And of course, with that comes young people who are making the wrong decisions. And sadly, more young people carrying weapons, more young people involved in antisocial behavior, more young people prepared to use weapons, and more young people losing their lives. And I fear for the future, unless the powers that be and those who have the ability, it starts in the home. I accept that. A lot of this starts in the home with how you educate and raise your children. But we as a community, we as a nation need to be part of the solution. And it's a mindset that needs to change if we're really gonna turn this thing around. And sometimes we take our eye off the ball when we hear that the figures have gone down and we think, oh, everything's okay. But for those of us working in the criminal justice system, the courtrooms are still very busy with young people offending and reoffending.
Yeah, with regards to the figures, how much of that is where the police have done their job and it then goes off and a decision's made on whether you charge, let alone what you end up charging them? Has there been, because we've got so much little, what they class as little crime going on, that we're not picking things up further, and that's skewing the actual figures of what's actually going through the courts?
I should have had all the figures with me, and forgive me for that. But I think the reality is that for the more serious offences, that there isn't a lack of will to charge. A lot of young people are being charged with the serious offences, and that's why we are seeing increasingly more and more young people in the adult courts, the Crown courts, facing allegations of violent disorder, Class A drug offences, murder, all of these serious offending. I don't think there's a lack of will to charge, or maybe with minor offences, there is a reluctance. But certainly, I'm just really concerned, especially with the law of joint enterprise and joint participation, the number of young people who get roped into serious charges when often they are not at the heart of the offending. They may be in the wrong place at the wrong time. They may be associating with people because of where they live, their social demographic. And before you know it, you can find yourself on trial. And this is something that I speak about regularly.
Can you just talk us through that, Stephen, as in enterprise? Because some people, even as adults, so we can't assume anything, because I was in a world of, I think I've got a little bit clued up on things, and then it's only certainly after hearing you speak and certainly being in certain fields that I start understanding things. We make assumptions. We make assumptions that certain crimes and things like that are happening in certain areas, and maybe in affluent areas and things like that doesn't go on there. And there's just so many assumptions us as adults are making, and we are not obviously helping the situation. So with regards to enterprise.
So if you take the classic case of joint enterprise, which we were all taught about at law school. So you've got the bank robber who goes into the bank with the sawn-off shotgun to hold up the cashier. And then you've got the guy in the car who's the getaway driver. Now, he hasn't shot anybody. He's not threatened anybody. But when they're arrested, he is deemed by the law, in terms of the legal standards, he is as equally culpable, responsible for the offence of robbery as the person who goes in with the shotgun. That's the basic joint enterprise. So fast forward that then to a young person who lives in a particular area, and one of his friends has an issue with someone else from another area. It might be something quite simple over a pair of trainers or a girlfriend or anything like that. And there is an argument that develops, maybe online. It starts online with threats, and then it develops to someone arming themselves and there being an altercation in which a group of people are together, and you happen to be there, and you may not remove yourself from the scene, but you may even be actively verbally encouraging your friend to do something to this other person, and that other person ends up being fatally wounded. Then joint enterprise can kick in a situation like that. And that's why often, and it, you know, I talk about this many times when I'm out and about doing these talks, of cases where there are multiple defendants, sometimes as many as 9 I've seen, all charged with murder, young people all charged with murder, where at best 1 or 2 people have carried a knife and maybe 1 person has used a knife. But joint enterprise says that if you are there actively encouraging or lending support to what is going to happen or has happened, then in the eyes of the law, you could be responsible for the death of another person. And that's joint enterprise in its simplest explanation, but it's real. And it just infuriates me that even as recently as 2 weeks ago, when I did a talk in a school in Southeast London, and I asked the question, how many of you know about joint enterprise? How many of you know that when you pull out your phones to film an assault, and maybe they're shouting and encouraging it, or even laughing, or even singing about it on a video, on a YouTube video or a Snapchat video, there are cases where young people can be charged with murder. And some of them are shocked. Some of them have never heard of joint enterprise. Many of the parents don't know about joint enterprise. And that's why I put these videos out that I'm sure you've seen, especially coming up in summer holidays. I make a point of putting these videos out with all my regalia on, saying, don't let this be your last. Because it's real.
Yeah, we've had a couple that I know of around in this area where the people that are the ones that are in control, the ones that are in control of that little gang or whatever they want to call themselves, know full well that they can get these little kids running around for them. That collateral damage. It's yeah, it's fine. The police will just go after him because he's the one that's here, there, and everywhere, and it's almost protecting themselves now. So the kids don't understand that this could be a charge that they're part of, but also they don't quite understand that the only reason why you're being kept around is not just the run around as it used to be for gangs. It's the that's what I can fall back on. It was used. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it, but I've coerced you to go and start that argument, to bring them round the corner, all sorts of different things. And I've known of 2 recently around here where it was the young kid that just got into the crowd just because he could hang around with them. He was getting drinks from them. He was getting like the new trainers and all that kind of stuff around for him. Oh, I'm just hanging around with them. I'm not doing anything wrong. But because of all these rules and everything, got dragged in. Got dragged in from it. And the people that were part of like the real reason why it all happened could quite easily just sit back and go, yeah, that's you weren't that important to us, even though that kid would think that they were very important. They're part of the gang, they're part of the family, and they're not.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that, you know, I say this often, everyone's your friend until it's crunch time, when you're all sleeping together and everyone's got to look out for themselves. And, you know, human nature being what it is, no one's going to have your back when he also is looking at a potential life sentence or a very long prison sentence. And also, you know, I also say, this is my sort of tagline to the youngsters, everything's funny until it's not funny. So, you know, when you're busy filming stuff and egging someone on, and it's all funny until it's not funny, and someone tragically loses their life. And then once you're in the system and you've been charged and there's been this decision to charge, try and extricate yourself from that is not an easy process. And I talk about playing Russian roulette with your life. Why would you do it? Because once you're in the system, to try and plead your innocence, no matter how good your lawyer is, you put yourself at the mercy of a jury of 12 people who don't know anything about you, may have a few preconceived ideas about groups of young people being together and what they've seen on social media. And there is a bias in all of us, and no matter how much we try to subdue it, yes, they've got to focus on the evidence, but sometimes they look at it and think, well, you were there and I can't see that you did anything to remove yourself from it, and it seems to me that you were encouraging it. And even if they're wrong about the assumptions they make, why risk it? You're talking about the rest of your life. You're talking about your future.
It came up in conversation recently because the program Tiptoe. I mean, it was all to do. Not a lot of people watched it, and it was all to do with the gays and how it now is. But the very end of that all then came as part of, like, the one person did the crime at the end, but it was a group of them around them, and one of them being older that should have known better, and one very much older that should have known better. But all the youngsters that were part of it, because it was just funny, it's not going to go that far, laughing around, were actually all then brought, as part of the story, it was then all brought into court. Yes, you were all part of that. You're all complicit in that, because one, you didn't walk away from it or try and change it.
Yeah, and that's why you see in my most recent video at the end, I say, walk away, because that moment of decision to stay could potentially alter the course of your destiny. And as I say, because I think things potentially are getting worse, it's a message which is even more poignant than ever.
So what age, Stephen, are we talking? Things are so different now, which is what we've talked about, obviously, with social media, etc. Are the ages of the young people, are you seeing that getting younger?
If I put it this way, the youngest person I've represented for an attempted murder case, and that's an attempted murder case, was 12. So there are youngsters who've been charged with murder they're teenagers, 14, 15, and many of them, if not considered what we consider to be the principal, the person carrying the weapon, they're there on a charge on the basis of a joint enterprise, that they were there actively encouraging the use of a weapon where there was potential someone would be seriously injured or die.
Are they fearless?
Some of them, which is scary, because
yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, some young people, that there must be so much trauma that they've either experienced, witnessed, or something gone on, where even with these messages, there is a fearlessness. But what I will say is, even with that fearlessness, which I have witnessed, I'm a sort of specialist of, when I get them one-on-one, I'm very easy to talk to, and I get them in their most vulnerable state, and you can see the fear. I mean, all the bravado for their mates and other people, but when you get them one-on-one, as a young man who I represented, he was misbehaving during his case. He was getting into altercations during the trial, but by the time I had finished, bonding with him, to use a better word, but I had bonded with him after 13 weeks. And I could see the fear. It's just a young kid, really, who made some terrible, terrible decisions, had a terrible upbringing. And people say, oh, it's always a bleeding heart story. But for some of these youngsters, that I wouldn't, some of their backgrounds are just terrible. And I will never forget this as long as I live, when at one point during the case, and I went down to see him, this young kid who'd been playing up, and when he got convicted of murder, I could see the tears in his eyes, and I remember him, standing up when I was about to say goodbye to him after he got his life sentence with a tariff of 33 years as an 18-year-old. And he hugged me. He hugged me and he said, "Sir, I wish you were my dad. I wish I'd met you when I was 6 or 7 years old, because I don't think I would be in this position. I would have made some better choices." Because he said, spending time with you, you've sort of told me what I could have been. And that was enough for me to think, wow, the end of the day, young people doing some terrible things, but it's not lost on you that for all of them who are perhaps fearless, they are still young people who, when you get them one-on-one, they have fears and concerns and recognize the path they've chosen and where it's going to lead to.
So when you're doing your talks, and you've done many of them at our events, and I know specifically you want to target young people so that you can let them know the realness of what goes on. As in, I think, do you take them to we talked about this at lunchtime, I think they did, like to the Old Bailey and show them, it's like, actually, it's not very pleasant, is it, at all? Yeah,
I mean, there are programs that the Old Bailey have run for a number of years now, but I've also developed a couple of programs, one in the London Crown Court. I've got a cohort going in next week, funnily enough, and also Wood Green Crown Court. We've run about 5 programs with young school children. And it's a fantastic opportunity for them to understand the work of the courts and the reality of it when they hear from lawyers, they hear from the judges, they hear from a surgeon who performs the operation on people who've been stabbed, and ex-offenders who've said, look, don't choose the path I've chosen because this is the reality of making those choices and the years you've lost. So they're really, really effective. And my desire now is that every major Crown Court across this country would run a similar program for local schools. I'd love to do it here in Croydon where I live, because it does have impact. And sometimes people say to me, well, how do you know how many lives you're affecting? And my answer is really simple. Even if it's one life that's saved, it's worth it, because with these offenses, what people don't understand, particularly the young people, on the one side, you have a young person who's lost their life, but then connected to them are uncles, aunties, siblings, grandparents, that whole network of people. And for the person who's committed the offense, it's the same. So it's not a one-on-one situation. It's the whole network of people, the knock-on effect that action has. And I really desperately want people to understand this.
I think that is key. It isn't just the individuals. It's not just the individual's family. That ripple is far wider.
That's it.
Far wider. So that's when we talk about the village, the community, and people like, well, it's not my child, so I don't need to worry. I will carry on with my life because it doesn't affect me.
It affects everybody. Check out the article on LinkedIn. I wrote an article just a week ago saying why knife crime is everybody's problem, because there are people who say I'm from a particular walk in life. It's got nothing to do with me. That's somebody else's problem. That's some other race's problem. We have all of the arguments, but I try and set out why it's everybody's problem, because we all need to work together to try and reduce. I'm not naive enough to think that we can completely eradicate youth violence. It's been around even from the Teddy Boys in the 60s. It's always going to be here, but it doesn't mean we don't try and tackle these issues. And we have to do it. And yes, it does take a village to raise a child, but what is the village? Who is the community? And don't get me started on some things that the community needs to do, and I'm talking about who we class as being role models, what we prioritize as being important in life, the role of fathers. I mean, we could talk all night. We could talk all night. And I would upset a few people, but I think
I don't mind. The show's Real Talk, remember? This is
people
a
have
thing.
to be upset.
We things are glazed over, and part of why I wanted you on, and as I sort of said, because obviously the kids are going to be breaking up very shortly. I said to Shell, I think it was over the weekend, I read a school had actually posted something on Facebook. I think responding to something had happened over the weekend. It wasn't on school grounds, but still, a young person is in hospital and all of a load of stuff that's gone on there. JP Smith, Quinton Green, Wingman Mentors. Who else did I message? I messaged Dan Gaze. There's just organisations out there that are doing works with young people and making a difference. Okay, so let me put that out there now. Now, how can we, because collaboration has got to be key.
Yeah.
What else can we do? What else can we do? I know sort of like I've been in meetings, I was a parent governor, and I don't know, let's say there's 12 of us in a meeting, something's happened. It's one of our children. There's no doubt about it. It's one of our children. But everyone's like, not mine, not mine, not mine. And as parents, as in family members, or whatever the case might be, there are things that we do know, and we're turning a blind eye until maybe it's going to affect somebody you know, and then all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, but this is what is going on. We're talking about churches. We're talking about community. You know, where are we starting?
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, you've got the role of, as you say, even if you start with churches, simply making a safe space available for youngsters at a young age. We talk about youth clubs being closed down, facilities being closed down, safe spaces for youngsters to feel safe, not being available. There are so many buildings that are used by churches for their own purposes. Open them up. I said to someone recently here in the borough of Croydon, and I even had an initiative that when we were complaining about lack of safe spaces for children, and there are some very good safe spaces, but we need more. Wouldn't it be great as an initiative if everybody who lived in the borough of Croydon put into a fund a pound from every resident in the borough of Croydon? Let's just take Croydon where I live.
Mm-hmm.
We all afford a pound, because if we can afford to buy some fast food from Uber Eats, where they charge you X amount to deliver food that's not really good for you, but we can all do it. We've all done it. But we all took a pound, put it into a fund to make funds available for an empty premises in the borough. There are great groups doing amazing things already, working with young people. Give them the facilities to enable them to do their work, because obviously not everybody has the skill to work with young people, and I recognize that, but there are people doing great work with young people, but they need safe spaces, they need the resources. And as I say, when we talk about the village, who is the village? I live in Croydon. Now, I don't have to necessarily come into contact with everybody who lives in Croydon, but I can do my bit, my borough safer. Look, I grew up in Croydon, and I'll tell you, I don't recognize Croydon anymore. It's really sad. And what is happening here in Croydon with the amount of violence, every day there's an incident, especially around West Croydon. And as I say, I'm old enough to talk the talk because I grew up in Croydon, and I remember when the Whitgift was a safe place to be. It was the place where everybody wanted to be, the Whitgift Centre. People would travel miles to come shopping here. It's like a ghost town. And now people are trying to invest and refurbish and reinvent. But, you know, it's simple things like that. Mentorship. We need more mentorship. People in the community stepping up You know what? I'll tell you this, Dee, and look, I'm on my soapbox now and I'm getting wound up already. I can feel it.
I don't want to wind you up, but I want to get them.
I would take, for instance, today, I won't say where and I won't say who, but I represented someone today. When I asked him about his circumstances, he told me he had 17 children. 17 children. And I'm thinking to myself, how on earth are you going to be a father figure of 17 children? What hope do they have? Because at some point, a young man, and this is a slight on single women raising children, because I know many good ones, many who've done an excellent job, but at some point, a young man needs the guidance and a male role model to teach him certain things that a woman cannot teach him. Now, that doesn't necessarily need to be the biological father if it's not possible, but a male role model needs to be there to help a young man navigate a very different world from when I was growing up in, and to affirm his masculinity without making it toxic, to make him have the self-belief that he has something to offer his community and society. And we have lost that. We are losing it. And there are many young men who are angry. They have become desensitized. They cannot express themselves verbally. They are all too ready to have altercations which result in violence. They are all too ready to immerse themselves with coercive and controlling behavior, whether that's of other young people or young women. That we have all of these issues going on, and unless we are ready to confront them and also support the people who are best equipped to deal with these youngsters at a very early age, then what we see playing out in our communities up and down the country, regardless of what color people are, this is affecting different communities up and down the country. It will continue to play out as we see it, and we will continue to see young people being incarcerated, young people losing their lives, and it is just not acceptable. And we need to create opportunity, because many young people say to me, I'm involved in this lifestyle because I don't see a future. I'm not being offered an alternative. Not everybody can go to university, and even the ones who are going to university, they can't find work, let alone the ones who are not academically inclined. They can't get the apprenticeships, they can't get into something meaningful. And so that is not the role of a parent. That is something that is society, that is our leadership, that is our politicians. Rather than bickering over mundane things to do with party issues and who should be leader, it's about how are we creating a society where young people can thrive and they can see a hope. There's more problems coming down the line because the birth rate's dropping. And so 20 years, 30 years down the line, we're going to have more problems because we don't have enough young people being proactive to sustain the economy. These are problems that are coming. And if we do not confront them head on, I don't want to think about what's coming down the line. And these are the things that we should be preparing for.
What I've ended up getting really angry with recently was, okay, we went along to a show that was talking about sort of like men's treatment towards women, basically. But there was a few people that said, oh, what have we got to do? How can we teach the boys not to do this? And I was trying to say, it's not that. It's having an equal... So many different mentors in your life that a woman needs an older man, a father figure, to then know what men should be like. And a boy needs that man to show them what they should be like. Not necessarily just about how they react at home, but how you get on together in a community. It's you need a person to be happy about themselves, to give them that, oh, I can do this if I put my mind to it. Not these kind of role models where you get an inflated view of you're just a reality show, and I can spend X, Y, Z amount of money, but you're not actually enjoying your life. You're enjoying your life in front of the screen. You need that well-rounded kind of person brought up, a child knowing all these different role models. Like a man can be strong, but they can also be vulnerable. I've said this quite a few times, that when I was a child, my dad and his brothers, two sets of twins, they were all boxers. All walks of life. Had been rough end of Peckham, one of my uncles. When it was my granddad's funeral, all four boys were quite happy and strong enough to cry. Grown men in their 60s and 70s will openly cry because it's a strong thing to do, where you don't get that quite often. And myself as a young girl, I could look at all of my uncles, all being completely different, but to look at them and say, that's the kind of man that I want. That's the kind of strong family man, always there, dependable. When things go wrong, we find a way around it, and we show all our emotions. That's all we've got to teach the kids to be nowadays, to be strong in themselves, to give them the confidence to be things, and to have a safe space that they can actually talk and work out who they are as people. I mean, you go down the gay route, there's quite a lot of people that don't come out because they're just too frightened, and we're more open supposedly nowadays to that, but they still don't feel confident in themselves. There's not that confidence, or people are showing too much confidence, so they get a complex about trying to show those feelings, and all of that turns into something else, which can be violence. It can be kicking out. I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to get a strop about it, and then something happens. And if I see, while I'm on my soapbox, if I see another program where a woman has wound up two blokes while she's out drinking, and the blokes get pulled off by the police, if I was in the vicinity, real life, I'd slap the woman, because that's what they're doing. They're playing all these men around them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And it's just having that well-rounded, as you say, like a community, a family around you, the village, having all these different role models. So you mix with older people, you mix with younger people, and not actually think anything of it, rather than staying in your little, this is what
your vulnerability is often your strength. And so from a male perspective, I would say to people, being a man is not about just physical strength. It's about being emotional. I think about my own children. They've seen me cry many, many times. I'm dreading seeing Toy Story on Sunday. But the reality is strength comes in a different form beyond physical strength, and showing your vulnerability. Being a man is keeping your word, even with your children, having integrity, and being the example to your children, certainly your male children, being that example of how they see you treat their mum, how they see you treat their grandmother, their aunties, the women in your family. How does he behave around them, and women that and so you've got to be the example. Because a lot of it is about mentorship. I mean, I think about all my great mentors, and I know the qualities that I've picked up from them. But there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the whole thing of, you can either go, I suppose you can either follow in their footsteps and just do what they did, and uncle went to prison, dad went to prison, I'm going to end up going to prison, or you can be the person that you needed back then, like now. So you make that change, and you be that mentor, you be that person that it doesn't take too much just to talk to some lads, or like to be an ear and make that change.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we're all fortunate enough to have our mothers still alive, but we are actually the elders now. We are. So in terms of the young people are looking to us, and because they are not getting the right answers, because there's a lot of us that aren't doing the right things, we are not showing the way. So when we're talking, that's all it is, it's talk. You're saying one thing, but you ain't living. You are not, you know, you're not somebody that I would look up to. And so with that, then they're doing their own thing. And there's so much that I can actually, you can see the reasons why. And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. But it's not like you can't see why certain things are happening. But how you know, I'm throwing it out there. I don't know if any messages are coming through, Shelley, or whether anybody's commenting at all. We just ask them obviously to please continue to share. But there's people that I've mentioned on here that are doing things within schools, they're going out to schools, they're doing all these different things. I've asked them to come on the show, and some of them are not aware of you, Stephen, and the work that you do. And I really want to do connections there, because for me, it's not just the kids. How do we reach, as in like myself, us as in the community? Because we are walking around blind.
You know what?
Blind, deaf, everything.
Last weekend, a very good friend of mine, Choma, she put on a purposeful parenting event at Goldsmiths College, and I was one of the speakers along with some other people. And she does fantastic work about this whole subject about purposeful parenting. And my first address to the audience was, I was just sad to see the numbers in the room. The people who need to hear the message are never in the room. Despite the amount of advertising that goes on, other things are more important.
Yeah.
Until we as the parents value those who are trying to do something to educate not just the children but the parents as well. Unless you have that vested interest in saying, I want to understand more about how I can be a better parent, what things do I need to look out for if my child is being coerced or bullied or doing something which they shouldn't be doing. Look, I get it. People are under a lot of pressure, but you have to invest and you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. And so I think if there are, as I say, there are amazing organizations doing great things who have an inside track on what people need to know. But, rather than scrolling through TikTok and other social media platforms looking at stuff which is never going to do anything to improve, look at the things that are going to help you. Simple as that, really.
I was going to ask this question earlier. So with the talk of sort of like prisons being over subscribed isn't the word, but
yeah, they're full.
What with all of what's going on, where are they putting these young people?
Well, I mean, for the most serious offenders, they are still in prison, but a lot of people are not serving their full term and they're being released early into the community. They're some of them are the alternative disposals to prison sentences, and they're trying to rehabilitate young people in the community rather than in prisons because of the problems that the criminal justice system has with underfunding. People say build more prisons. Well, that's one solution, but the reality is at the current rate, there's not the money to build the prisons. So what do you do with prisons that are overcrowded? You start releasing people early, which of course to society, people think, well, people got off lightly because they didn't serve the sentence they were supposed to serve. And that's a whole new argument with people who perhaps have been at the other end of crime and they're saying, well, how is that justice? And so we've got ourselves in a real mess. But a lot of it is down to investment. You know, if we invested early on, and remember what I said earlier about going upstream to find out why people are falling in, if we invested at a much earlier stage with youth justice and those who can have diversionary measures to stop young people committing offences in the first place, then, you know, maybe the prison population would go down. But it's all about investment, not just financial investment, but investment in of time. What do we value? What's important to us? And if we don't value those things, well, should we be surprised by the outcome?
Yeah, exactly. Some hard-hitting talk by our Stephen Akinsanya, OBE. I can't wait to say that. Oh. Stephen, there's videos, and I know you. I think, was it last year? When did you start doing videos? Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember.
Year before. I just remember I was at Northampton Crown Court, and I just finished a murder case where the young man had been acquitted of murder, one of them, but the other defendant had been convicted of murder. And I think he got an 18-year tariff as a 17-year-old, but it's a life sentence. And I remember coming out of court thinking, there are youngsters who are going to start their summer holidays. And for some of them, if they make the wrong choices, it could be their last summer, literally.
Yeah.
Could be the last summer as a free person for a very long time. So I got my phone and I recorded this video saying, don't let this summer be your last. And I talked about joint enterprise and the realities of the court system. And I put this thing on TikTok, and I could see the numbers going up. And I thought, well, it's reaching some people. And so this year I did the same thing. And I think at the last count, the last one of the videos had been seen by 15,000, which I guess is small by comparison. If you're pouring milk over your head and everyone thinks that funny, and you get 265,000 people watching it. And I think, where are people's minds at? The stuff that's going to save your life, people just scroll through, but the stuff that's basically stupid, people like it. And I think, well, therein lies it.
Well, we need you back, you know that. maybe when you get your OBE, I tell you what, I'm going to bring you back to Luton. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring you back to Luton with your OBE. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
I'll do that.
And it's just going to be, are you listening to this show? Again, this is what it happens. It's going to be just Stephen. It's going to be just you. It's not going to be, it's just going
an
to
audience
be
with,
just you. You might be laughing, Stephen. It's not a joke. She knows. I've already sort of, literally. So in that short space of time, so much information, so much vital information. Even though I've heard you, so many times speak. We've spoken, you've done Zooms for us, in person, on the shows as well, online, in person, and I'm still learning something else that I didn't know.
There's a lot
My son Jordan thinks you're amazing, by the way.
Oh, hi, say hi to Jordan.
Jordan thinks you're absolute. When I said to him, I said, Steve, he goes, oh, I think his words were guan. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, I shared that with him, and he said, thank you.
My niece, like my eldest niece, Nicola, she was actually in like the law courts and things like that, because she was like a legal secretary. So she's seen Stephen in action, and he's been part of going into her and stuff. So it's whenever I've said that you've been doing our shows and bits and pieces, there's always a big smile that goes on her face. She absolutely adores that you're now an OBE. Long time coming.
So before we let you go, because do you know what I mean, your time is precious. I know you mentor Are you still mentoring now?
Yeah. It's I mean, people reach out to me, and I'm always trying to help in one way or another. And it's really important that, you know, as I sort of look towards the future, and I wouldn't say I'm on the downward trajectory, but I'm certainly a long way in, and I'm looking towards the future and winding things down. But I'm all about preparing those who are following, you know, following me, not just necessarily in the law, but just empowering youngsters to be the very best version of themselves. And so if that's what mentorship looks like, and it's an encouraging word, you know, the funny thing is, you know, recently when I got this award, I was blown away by the number of comments I got on LinkedIn from well-wishers. I mean, I think I answered over 670 messages.
Oh my goodness.
And on Facebook, about another 260. And, you know, one thing that resonated with me, because everybody knows I've not done any of this for any sort of award. I've just always done what I've always done.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get these messages where people say, I met you 10 years ago, and there's something you said to me that changed the course of my life. And I'm thinking, really? But when you see those messages, you just think, wow. Yeah. So mentorship could just be a conversation. It could be a moment of your time. It could be a word of encouragement. It's just incredible, really. And so that's why I just keep doing it.
Yeah, I think you sort of like you must know that your reach is far wider than even you know. Because even though obviously you just said about LinkedIn, you just said about that. There'll be people, whether it be TikTok or whatever, that have seen, heard, and even if they take just a little bit of that, and they've then spoken to a friend, or they've then spoken to another parent, a teacher, or what have you, and that information has been passed on, but you would never know.
No,
never. You never know. So your reach is far wider.
Well, I always say, you know, I've got this belief that whoever I encounter, I never want to leave them the same.
Yes.
So their experience for both of us is enriching in one form or another.
Yeah, I needed to get you on as well. So I said it at the beginning. I'm saying it again now as we kind of wrap up. On behalf of, I know Cecile's not on, but she's watching and she's messaging in there, and Shelley and the whole of the Simply Deez crew, and you are absolutely amazing. We thank you for the support that you have given us, because there's many a time, like I said, your wife just got back, so she's been away. If anything, it's like, what, you ain't going nowhere. What do you mean you're going to do some talk miles away? But we just wanted to let you know we truly appreciate you and all that you're doing, and not just for the youth. It has had an impact. I know certainly Shelley, still, and a lot of the team, and myself, even my son, and you'll never know, Stephen, seriously, you'll never know. But just wanted to say thank you doesn't seem enough, but thank you. And this is, for me, part of why you deserve the OB, is that you just do it it's from the heart. And some people do things and you know it's not from the heart, but you truly do. So that and so much more, we wish you well in everything that you do, you and your family, your mom. Hi, Mom. Thank you. Thank you,
Shelley.
Oh my gosh, honestly, Stephen, we will catch up, you know that. Please post as soon as you get a message. Do you know what I mean? Even if we're not physically there, we can at least be at home and put our hats on and feel like we're at Buckingham Palace or somewhere. Yeah, we'll be at home and we'll be doing our own little Zoom, sort of saying Stephen should be now.
Well, my wife tells me the color theme is blue, so if you're going to wear a fascinator, wear a blue one.
Oh, thank you, Elsie.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, and we'll catch up soon, darling.
definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Take care,
Take care. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, my golly gosh. I don't care what anybody says. He's in that top.
Yes, yeah.
I know a lot of guys that are doing great work, but it's going to take a lot to surpass Stephen. I'm telling you now.
Very much.
Seriously. On so many levels. So many levels. So if you're out there and you're watching or you're not watching, why you're not watching? He's dropped so many seeds, Shell. So many seeds. So many. He gives everybody the baton all the time. It's like, what do you do with the baton? You either drop the baton or even if you pass something on. This is what we're saying. Yeah. When we have people, it doesn't matter who it is. We had Jasper earlier on. It's like, yeah, so he's some guy and he's talking about films and no.
Yeah, all the little bits.
We broke that down. And it could be a case of like, do you know what? That's somewhere where you could go, your friend, or whoever it is. And do you know what? The majority of the things that these guys are doing are free. Do you hear those words? Free. There's not many things out there for free. Now, your circumstances might be, and even, it doesn't matter who you are. Do you know what? That could be what you need, maybe to do a little bonding.
Yeah. We've said about volunteering before, and it's things like this. If you've just, there's I'll have to look. There's bound to be different places where you can just do the mentoring, and it's not that I have to be doing like an hour with this person every 2 days and all that kind of stuff. It is just, even if you're just deciding, I want to speak out. I want to speak out. This is what's happened to me. Look, please learn from the route that I've taken. There's going to be a different route that's better for you. So it's never, you do get some people out there that want to, oh, don't do this, and don't do this, and don't do this. And
this is what I was told. Don't become a parent governor. Don't sort of like get involved at school. Don't what have you. But if you don't get involved, then how do you know? And then when I'm like, so, oh my gosh, I'm going like, I haven't got time, but I'm like kind of like asking a question. It's like 6 times a year. You what? 6 times a year? Is that it? I'm thinking it's like, I don't know, every other week, or I haven't got the time. 6 times a year.
Yeah. And there's always something new to learn. Don't believe that, oh, you got a job in something that's the way it's got to be. That's one of the things that I get quite often, that I see that it's, oh, I used to do that as a job, or no, that's, and it is, it's not believing that could happen, because I've had a few people that all these, like the crimes, kids' mental health, suicide rates are lower. And you say, as Stephen said earlier, oh, we're going like 12, 13 years old. No, can't possibly be. But if you was just to actually read a little bit more information and take in what's going on around you, you would actually know. You would actually know. And it is scary. It is scary. Kids are growing up way too fast. And I think that's where some of this, you don't get the self-belief comes from, and going along with something because someone said something.
This is something that's ongoing. This isn't something that, you know, Stephen's not been on the show once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6. I don't even know how many times. If we were to peel back, he's been on the show many a time and in person. He's actually physically come to Luton and been a speaker at several of our international men's events. I know for a fact, we know for a fact, he's impacted lots of lives in different ways.
Yeah, not just the kids. It was like the adults around as well that have now gone on more and doing more
Yeah,
how
exactly.
they're reacting to
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
And understanding that don't be a bystander. We're listening to all of this and oh my gosh, it's so sad. Oh, isn't that? And then exactly what you're saying. And then you've scrolled on to his own life. Don't get me wrong. We're not talking just doom gloom. We're talking how can you make a difference? If it's something that's not within your remit, I get it. But even when I say that, think about it. You're making a difference might be that you've shared this with all your contacts. Do you know what? You might think that's nothing. That's massive.
Yeah.
That's as much as I can do. I'm busy, I'm this, I'm that, and yeah, that's all you've done. But I guarantee you, and you know this, Shell, that somebody along that chain,
Yeah.
you might not hear it. There's so many things you never actually hear, but it's changed somebody, it's made somebody. Somebody might decide, oh, I'll tell you what, I might do a little bit of volunteering. Why am I just what have you? I've got half an hour a week. Might not sound like much, or an hour a week. I might do X, Y, Z.
Yeah. Yeah,
We can't just all just sit back and wait for just so many times you've said on the shows and things that we're waiting. If you're expecting the government to do everything, well, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's elements. Yeah, we know money, this, that, and the other. But what can you do? That's the whole point. What can you do to make a difference?
Yeah.
If that's information and passing it on, if that's your time.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, you get it. I was about to say that there always used to be, and I know it's a different time now, and people do reflect back on, oh, but we used to have all our front, like the back doors open, and kids used to run in the street, and yeah, we are a different.
Yeah,
it's a different world now, but you've still got the same values that you need to have. You've still got that same values of even just knowing your neighbours. I mean, no one learned from COVID the fact that like you've got a neighbour that couldn't get out and do their shopping. How many people then was sort of like looking out for their like the elderly neighbours? Oh well, I'm going shopping. I'll pick stuff up and like you leave it on the doorstep and things like that.
Remember, yeah, or buying for. Do you know what I mean? You bought in. I don't know. I think Nikkei used to do that, didn't it? It's like
Nikkei,
the
flour.
One
Yeah,
flour,
I
50 bags of flour. Or whatever the case may be. There's so many different things. We have got a chat box. I do believe there is a chat box, Shelley, that we do take a look at. We do look at. We do respond. We do share. We do come back to you. I don't know. Put some suggestions there. Well, I'm shouting out to all those.
Yvonne Michelle was posting as Stephen was talking about having the what he was wanting to do was like open up all the crown courts.
Oh yeah.
And it's showing the kids, because quite often, going back to what I was asking, was the fact that if you've got the small crime, it always used to be it was enough that the police were coming around your house. Your local copper, who knew everyone around in your estate, was going to go home to your parents. That would be enough deterrent. Now you don't get any of that. And it used to be your first time of ending up in the police station as a kid would have been enough. Now, oh yeah, that's easy. I can get away with that. And then they don't realise that the bigger crime that they could get caught with, or when they get to that particular age, they're now in Crown Court. And that is then completely different. Especially when you go into the old Crown Court, like the Old Bailey. And that's what I was saying on the lunchtime show. That is still the old building. They can't do anything about it. So when you're coming in, and Stephen, because Stephen was talking about before, if you don't remember the pictures that he showed on one of the International Men's Day.
Down underneath
underneath, where now you would have like the brand new buildings, you have a bigger cell. You've still got the individual cells of when that building was first there. Yeah. That's what you're sitting in, waiting for your court case for you to go upstairs. And that in itself would be,
I remember him saying at one of the events how, you've got these really hard, I want my mum.
Yeah.
This is reality kicking in now. You're still, you are a child. You are a child, but the choices that you've made have now, and it's understanding that. So, what part can you play?
Yeah,
that is a question we're throwing out there. What part can you play? I'm throwing out once again, Shell. Tell me if I haven't made it clear. I'm throwing out to like JP, to Dan Gaze, to Wingman Mentors, to Quinton Green. I don't know. Dan Gaze said he didn't know Stephen. Who any of them know Stephen? Don't know Stephen? How we at Simply Deez, we can't do everything. We're not trying to do everything. But if we can help, we can support. You're doing something and it needs to be shared. You've got a platform here that you can come on and tell us what you're doing. We're coming into holiday time now, and I know JP used to run some like
he's
like
got his
things
holiday
and
scheme.
that at parks and so many different places. But unless people, not everybody is on social media, I get that, but there's so many different ways we can share that information out. So many different ways. So if it's not on social media, whether that be on WhatsApp, whether that be, we know people that can go into schools, there might be flyers. Please, 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 this is what the platform is for. Okay, this is what this platform is for, guys. So do you know what? I'm hot.
I mean, it's all these projects, thinking on that are plugging the holes that government are not fixing. So Stephen did say earlier that government, it should then be looking at what's going on. But it's not. So they're asking schools to do more and not actually have the monies going into it. You've kind of got all these kids that have been at home for so long during COVID that's added on top of the usual that's going on. So everything is up in the air, and there's just so many people that it's their project, it's their charity that's plugging these holes, that are trying to sort things out, that don't get the recognition, don't get the monies or anything else. So we really need for anyone around
to and step up. Doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, I've summoned life away and now I'm not going to have no time to myself. We're not talking that whatsoever. We're not talking that whatsoever. Do you know what? Sometimes it's a list of things that you think wouldn't make a difference. I'm telling you now, make a massive difference. We are gonna Shell, before we wrap up, you must have something from Tishi.
I do have something from Tishi. There is a poem if you want the poem as well, but she's got her update. And as I said, that I never read this beforehand. I just open it up to make sure I can open up the way that she does her notes. But so I don't know what's coming. I know. These updates from Miss Tishi. Hello everyone. Since the last show, life has been good and busy. Oh, right. Hang on a minute. This is where she gets us into. I had my Aunt Dee, Nana, and some of our Simply Deez ladies over to my house to celebrate my 40th birthday on June the 16th, and it was a great evening. Dad and Jade came round on Father's Day, and we watched a film and had a takeaway and drinks, of course drinks, and listened to music. I went to the hospital for a checkup with my mum on the 26th of June, and it went well. That's good. I've been writing a lot of poetry again. I've had a few of the poetry, and it's not naughty. It's Auntie T came round last Tuesday evening and planted some beautiful flowers in my back garden, and she came back on Wednesday evening to plant some more after I came back from the Leicester Arms for lunch with my carer. I went to my nana's last Thursday and we had a good catch up and watched wrestling together, and she cooked dinner. I'm going to Matalan on Wednesday to spend my birthday money. And I'm looking forward to next Monday because it's Nana's birthday and we're all going to my mum's. Wow. There's a lot of birthdays coming all together.
I know. June, July, May, June, July. Yeah.
Although she did send me the picture of the flowers earlier. You did a good job, Auntie Dee. They are growing really quite nice. You really do have a good green finger.
Yeah, I said to her today, I said, I want to see, because I made sure I even went and got a watering can. I've got one, I've got several myself, but I thought, let me get a brand new one, because I don't want anybody, the carers, sort of saying, like, oh, we didn't have the right thing to water them. And so I bought a watering can as well. So I'm like, there's no excuse. And then she sent pictures down. I thought, oh, they're coming up nice. Do you want to do a poem?
The poem. We're putting, I did say to her, we're putting this out there because you never know what will happen. You put it out in the universe. So that's me fiddling around and it's closed it. Hang on. The poem was called Mr. Lover. Mr. Lover, I'm here waiting for you and you're nowhere to be seen. Mr. Lover, come and get me because I'm ready for you. Mr. Lover, when are you coming? I'm patiently waiting, but I'm getting impatient. Mr. Lover, hurry up and get here because I want some loving, Mr. Lover. I'm not normally impatient, but I want some loving and my body belongs to be hugged. I have myself been for a long time now, Mr. Lover. I don't want much love and honesty and loyalty, Mr. Lover. I don't want much, but someone to talk to and spend time with. I don't want much, but my forever, Mr. Lover. So she's ready.
You know what? I held my breath. I was going like,
there wasn't anything naughty.
I was going like, oh, please be wrapping up. Please be wrapping up. I was scared. I was frightened. I swear, I'm not even joking. Yeah, you guys out there, you've got no idea. You have no idea. Oh, my giddy aunt.
It was.
I'm going like,
fun.
I'm going to sleep good tonight.
I did get I know she was writing tonight. While she was listening, I know she was writing. And I think she sent through another one. But I don't think I was going to... No, I won't open it because she didn't say anything about it. So I don't know quite what that poem is going to be like. But no. I messaged her back when I read that and I was like, right, okay, you're waiting for him, so we'll put it out in the universe and who knows what happens.
Lord of mercy. Right. So as we wrap up, Shell, we're going to wrap up. It's still light outside. I still got to water my my gardening centre outside. And can't remember what else got to do, but we have got coming up, just in case people missed out, we have got on the 20th of September, the lovely Victor Richards. Who's hey? If you don't guys keep up, you're going to snooze, you're going to lose. The early bird tickets have gone. And it's only because my neighbour messaged me. She's going, Day, I can't buy. Okay, so I don't. And yeah, the early bird tickets have gone. So if you've seen that and you're thinking like it's sold out, the event is not sold out. The early bird tickets have sold out. So tickets are available, £15 plus a booking fee. 20th of September, Milestone, streets paved with gold, with Victor Richards. It was a Windrush. It was a play that he toured the UK with. And he's actually put this now into a film. Woo, woo. So we have the pleasure of screening, Simply Deez have the pleasure of screening on the 20th of September. What time did we say it was, Shell? Was it
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock. Sort of 3 o'clock. So doors will be open beforehand. There'll be a few little exhibitors there. So once we've done the screening, we'll also have a Q&A. Oh yeah, we don't just screen and you go home. We have a Q&A with Victor, who is the director, the producer, and has a starring role in this wonderful piece. And I heard you at lunchtime. There may be a little performance. There may be a little something going on as well. You know us. We don't just... And people going like, singing, not Dee. Let's see. I might have other things to do, but yes. So tickets £15 plus booking fee. Shelley's put the information on there. We will be sharing that. Your job is to share.
Yes.
That is what your job is. Your job is to share. And also, it would be absolutely fantastic to come along. The Library Theatre, I do believe it holds probably about what? 180, possibly even more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, guys, it's a Sunday afternoon. You know you ain't doing nothing. You know you're not doing nothing. It's going to be great. An opportunity for us to connect, mingle, certainly meet up with the wonderful Victor. It's a Windrush play that he's put on, but it's not just no ordinary thing, trust me. So we're really excited about that. And that's me getting ready for the black bookcase.
Playing them drums already.
You know that. Saturday, 17th of October, we are back. We are back with Read Aware, Sixth Form College. Saturday, 17th of October, it will be 12 till 6 p.m. Don't ask me how we're going to pack in what we're packing in. We have also got the theatre as well. So in the theatre, there will be some live interviews with authors. We have the capacity. We're going to have like 80. Who knows? Might squeeze in a few more. 88 exhibitors. Shelley's going, Lord. 80 exhibitors. So a couple of things. Please, 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 if you wish to have an exhibitor stall. Oh, it's October. That's so much time. Well, I've told you before. Yeah. And previously, but the time people get around to go, we're sold out. What do you mean? You must have some. No, they're all gone. We do not have this kind of thing locally. We do not. Okay, so this is for everybody. And guess what? The entry, I do believe. Shelley, have we made it free?
Yes, you did.
What? No way. You know the amount of things that people are paying to go to things, events like this. Yeah. We, once again, are making this free entry. Okay, it's free entry. It's a Sixth Form College, brilliant location. You know, say they're going to be food. You know, going to be drink, free parking. You're talking authors. You're talking book publishers. You're talking, oh my gosh, jewelry. You're talking clothing. You're talking creams. You're talking, and there's going to be a young people's corner. What? Where we've got young people with their businesses. They may be authors. Some of them have got businesses, but we are supporting the youth, and which is something that we try and do with everything that we do. So if you are an organisation out there, I'm talking about maybe like Michaela Williams, who's got her Dementia Cafe or whatever it might be, and you want to bring a group of people, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. So please send us a message. Let us know, and we can ensure that you guys are seated together. I think that is going to be a fantastic day event, and we're doing amazing stuff. Sorry.
It is one of those things that, yeah, we don't get funding for or anything like that, but it's, you put it on because it's needed. And for everything in Luton, it should be, it's open for everyone. Just because you're celebrating a particular culture or a festival or whatever, it's open to everyone. And that's what Luton should be more of. Should be like, we are Lutonian, and we happen to have a huge melting pot of, well, food for starters. I mean, where else can it, like anywhere else in the country, you say, yeah, we're going for curry. Here, I've got to go around the whole world of different curries that I could take you to.
Yeah.
You know?
A wealth.
Although I did go somewhere else, and they said, oh yeah, it's a Jamaican curry, and I looked at it and went, no, it ain't.
Mic drop. Our show knows. Our show knows. Don't try and confuse. Don't even play with that girl. Don't play with her. She's been around enough events. She's been around enough events. She got to tell you straight.
It looked so anemic. It was horrible.
So many different things going on, positive things. And even though we've spoken to Stephen, and with that current climate, there's still many, many positive things that we can get out of that, and how can you make a difference. So starting next week, don't forget, we always have every Tuesday the Simply Together show. If you don't catch it live, you can catch it on replay. Then we are looking at on the 29th of July, cool runnings. And you know what? It'd be great to just see some. It's just great to catch up over a movie.
Yeah.
What's that about? Over a movie. Nice, chilled. It's a Wednesday. It is a Wednesday afternoon. So the kids will be on holiday. So whoever you are, if you want to bring the kids, if you just want to come with your friends, it really doesn't matter. I do believe, once again, the tickets are free. You need to go online on the Orange Picture Club, and we've got the details and information if you missed it, and you can get your free tickets on there. So Tishi, we will see you, if not, I'll see you before then, but because it's Nana's birthday. But yeah, so I'll see you at Cool Runnings also as well. I'll see you also as well at Milestones in September, and hopefully you'll make it to the Black Book Case in October. We busy.
Don't forget, because we're so much stuff going on in the community for different projects, you are going to see, if not one of us, but all of us together or singularly popping up.
Can you believe it? Exactly that.
Why are you here?
We get around, guys. We get around.
Yeah.
To me, we get around. So thank you all. Honestly, thank you all for watching. If you weren't watching, I want to know why. The least you can do is share. That's the least you can do, because it will make a difference. You've got to remember, because we are online, this is global. The information that was shared today, who knows? We're talking about changing lives. We're talking about potentially saving lives also as well. So for now, I got to get green fingered, got to go out and water my precious little gems. And yeah, God bless. And thank you everyone for your help and support. We do appreciate you. Shell, anything you want to leave the guys with?
No, I think
she says no. The woman from Del Monte says no. So we are out for now. We will see you all real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.